What's going on YouTube? My name is Justin and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be discussing 5 things that I've done in my life really to change it for the better. But before we dive into this video, as always I please want to remind you all to give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already. They're just taps of a screen or clicks of the mouse for you, but they mean the world to me. Now let's get into this. The first item on my list is something that I've been striving to really improve in my life for a really long time, and that is to reduce procrastination. Procrastination is the demon of productivity. Now, I'm not saying that I don't ever procrastinate, I'm not perfect, but it's really understanding when you're procrastinating and trying to change that behavior and get it to a point where you're not procrastinating as often. I think it's completely normal behavior to want to try and delay or put off unsettling tasks or just unpleasant tasks, and for most of us these have to do with work or school. However, the one thing that I've really been working towards is actually trying to reduce the temptation to procrastinate. This temptation comes from really just impulsive pleasures. For many people, these instant pleasures that we find that lead to procrastination include countless hours of just scrolling through Twitter feeds and Facebook feeds or YouTube videos, just really anything that is simply distracting you from doing what you're doing. And that's just really the nature of procrastination, is it's just taking some sort of impulsive pleasure and having that delay whatever you're supposed to be doing. Mastering these impulsive pleasures and getting a hold of them and actually being able to reduce your procrastination requires a high level of discipline. This discipline is really just you trying to quiet that voice that's trying to get you to get distracted from what you're doing, but when you're able to conquer that voice, you really do get a lot of work done. The second item on the list is adopting a mindset that's striving for growth. Adopting a mindset where I am now is not where I'll be, and that every day is a chance to grow even closer to being my best, has given me a mindset that no matter where I am right now, I know that I will be better later. To me, being in a growth mindset also really comes along with a negative of never really being satisfied with where you are, because you know where you're gonna get, and because you're not there yet, you often find yourself being unsatisfied because you know there's still more and better to come. But it's this occasional feeling of not being enough that actually acts as a driving force or a motivating force that keeps me pushing forward. Now, you just need to find your driving force. The next item on this list was that I started reading more frequently. So I've discussed reading and its importance when it comes to learning in previous videos, and I still stand by it and I will continue to advocate for it as my channel goes on. I do have a video on my channel of some of the top finance books that I've read. It's kind of cringy, it's one of my original videos, but if you do want to go check it out, you can. But I'll just tell you a couple of those books right now. It is 1, The Automatic Millionaire by David Bach. 2, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. I would also recommend books like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's more of a philosophical stoic sort of book. It's incredible, I absolutely loved it. As well as the book How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger if you're into things like health and nutrition. The next one may seem a little bit out of place when it comes to the context of my channel, but it's actually reducing the amount of inflammation in my body. Several years ago, I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am right now, and my body just really felt horrible. My joints hurt when I was trying to walk upstairs and everything, and I just felt a lot older than I actually was. Throughout that weight loss journey, I tried many different diets, including low carb, more keto style diets. I did just sort of the standard American diet, but really just kind of counted my calories, macros, all that. And then I also did plant-based diets, like I was vegan for 2 years, and I was lacto-ovo vegetarian for 6 months. One thing I noticed across all of those other diets, other than the standard American diet, is my body overall felt way better compared to the standard American diet. Reducing the inflammation in my body came from a lot of different sources. One of them is actually the next tip. But when it comes to things like the consumption of food, one of the best things that I had consumed on a regular basis and still do is my berry smoothies. It's just a couple cups of frozen berries, a couple bananas, and some Greek yogurt and water to get it blended. That's it. That's a very antioxidant rich snack. I don't consume it as a meal anymore. I used to throw more stuff into it and it would be like sort of a meal replacement. That was more when I was vegan and I was really just trying to drink a lot of smoothies as well. into my diet when I needed like a quick meal. But now they're just more like a snack. It'll be like a drink with my breakfast or something, so there's less in it. My go-to meal prep is actually something that I feel amazing after eating it, which is one of the reasons it is my go-to, and it's a really healthy chili. But one of the things that I started adding to this chili, and I continued to add it to it because I realized I actually felt better with it in there, was ground turmeric. Turmeric, for those of you who don't know, is an incredibly anti-inflammatory spice or seasoning. I believe it's a spice. It's incredibly anti-inflammatory and contains a high amount of antioxidants, and it's actually been proven to reduce or kill cancer cells. It's an incredibly amazing food, and I highly recommend that you should be including it into your diet. The final thing that I added to my diet that I felt a lot better and really feels like you reduce your inflammation in your body is cinnamon. And I'm not counting cinnamon sugar, because sugar, as we know, increases inflammation in your body, but I'm talking about cinnamon sticks and ground cinnamon. There's a tremendous amount of research that actually shows that that reduces your inflammation as well, so I will try to include that a lot when it comes to my foods. One example of that would be, say, putting ground cinnamon on top of apples. The final thing that I did in my life that I am very happy that I did was trying and working towards reducing the amount of stress that I feel on a daily basis. Coming from my current education in clinical psychology, I've understood and really come to understand actually the effects of cortisol or just overall stress on the body and the mind. Not only are things like cognition impaired, but we've also have research that shows that vision can actually start to decrease over time in patients that have high levels of cortisol. From the context of history, stress really only came from things like hunting and avoiding natural disasters. But however, as we've evolved as humans, we start to get more acute stresses more frequently in our life. It's believed that our bodies were never created to be able to handle this prolonged stress. Rather, no matter how acute the stress is, over time this amount of cortisol in the body can start to wreak havoc on it. Our bodies weren't created to be in a constant state of fight or flight, and by working towards reducing the stress in your life, you can actually start to just better your life. The biggest way that I've been able to tackle the stress in my life is realizing that things that we encounter on a daily basis aren't as serious as they appear to be. Our perception of them as being stressful is actually blown out of proportion more times than not. Life is constantly throwing curveballs, and rather than getting caught looking, I'd rather not have to deal with the mental breakdowns that come along with that on a daily basis. I've come to terms that bad things will always happen to us, and really just kind of not showing any sort of emotion to it and just tackling it head on and not allowing it to create stress in my life, that was the best way to tackle life and stress. So, thank you for checking out this video. I hope you liked it. I will be continuing to make more personal development or growth videos alongside the personal finance videos. So just please give this video a thumbs up as always, and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below on other videos you'd like to see, or just to keep the discussion going with other people. See you later.